The Grand Mirabelle Hotel stood tall against the morning fog, its glass windows gleaming like polished mirrors, hiding more than they revealed. Inside, the lobby buzzed with tourists, tired executives, and murmurs of luxury. But something darker moved beneath the polished marble and golden chandeliers. Her name was Amelia Duquesne, but no one here knew that. Not this week. Not in her beige uniform with the name tag that said Melinda. Not with her sleeves rolled up and a mop in hand. She was the owner of this hotel chain, but today, she was undercover. Complaints had piled up, staff being mistreated, money vanishing, guests whispering about things going missing. And one message had stood out in all the noise. It said, "The heart of this hotel is rotting from the inside. If you care, come down here yourself. They won't recognize you if you dress like the rest of us." So she did. Her first day went quietly. Too quietly. The young staff ignored her, the supervisors barked orders, and the cameras watched, always watched. But she watched back. With every turned-down bed and polished mirror, Amelia was collecting stories. And on day 4, she saw him, Harold, the doorman, 72 years old, silver gray hair beneath a green cap, his spine bent from years of greeting people who barely looked him in the eye. But his smile remained kind, and his gloves always white. That morning, she saw him slip a crumpled $5 bill into a guest's hand. The guest, frantic, had lost his luggage. Harold had paid for the taxi, and no one else noticed, except her. Later that day, behind the service elevator, she saw him again, counting coins from his pocket, dropping them into a brown envelope. It read for Mrs. Patel, allergy meds. He didn't know anyone was watching, but she was. That night, she pulled up the staff records. Harold hadn't received a full paycheck in months. Deductions due to uniform damage, the system said, but his uniform looked perfect. She knew then. Something was wrong. The next day, she followed the laughter. Down the staff corridor, near the locker rooms, 3 younger bellboys huddled around a phone, watching something, laughing hard. She leaned in quiet. The video was cruel. Harold was caught on camera struggling to lift a heavy bag. One of them had added a cartoon voiceover, mocking him. They passed the phone around like a toy. "Old man can't even lift a toothbrush," one said. The others laughed. She clenched her jaw, kept walking, didn't speak. But she remembered their names. Ramon, Dex, V. That evening, she saw the signs. The tip jar near the cafe register, missing. The cashier, Danica Rowe, was nearly in tears. "I swear I left it here," she whispered to the manager. The manager rolled his eyes. "No cameras saw anything," he said. "So maybe you imagined it." Amelia didn't speak, but she walked to the maintenance closet, retrieved her USB, plugged into the hidden surveillance system the staff didn't know existed, and rewound the footage. There it was, 2:41 p.m. Ramon, sliding the jar into a laundry cart, smiling like it was routine. Amelia leaned back, heart pounding. She had enough now. But she wasn't done. The next morning, something strange happened. The cashier, Danica, handed a small bag to an elderly woman in a faded shawl. Amelia recognized her. A frequent guest, often ill. Danica reached into her own purse, took out cash, paid the pharmacy courier herself. The woman tried to protest. Danica smiled. "Your health isn't optional," she said. Amelia stood frozen, then stepped back into the shadows. The hidden camera above the cafe caught it all. She downloaded the footage. At noon, the general staff meeting was called. Everyone gathered in the back lounge, even the bellboys, even the managers. Amelia stepped forward, not as Melinda, the housekeeper, but as Amelia Duquesne, the CEO. Gasps. Mouths fell open. Some backed away. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She played the footage on the screen. First, Harold giving his money away. Then being mocked. Then Ramon stealing the tip jar. Then Danica paying for the guest's medicine. Silence. Thick and suffocating. She turned to Harold first. "You were the only one doing the job this place forgot to honor. With dignity. With compassion. I owe you an apology and a promotion." He blinked. Speechless. She turned to Danica. Integrity isn't taught in training. You already had it. Effective immediately. You're head of guest care. And there's a bonus coming your way. Danika's hand shook. She cried. The staff clapped. Slowly at first. Then louder. Then she turned to the three boys. Ramon, Dex, V, you're fired. The room exhaled. And just as they turned to slink away, security stepped forward. You'll be returning every cent stolen. And if Mrs. Patel's meds had been delayed any further, this would be a criminal case. You're lucky you only get shamed today. And just like that, gone. But Amelia wasn't done. She walked to Harold, took his hand. There's one more thing, she said. This hotel once belonged to my father. He used to say the doorman sets the soul of the place. I forgot that. You reminded me. You're not retiring anytime soon, unless it's to the beach. She handed him a set of tickets. 2 weeks. Paid. Anywhere you want. He stood there, stunned. Then his lips trembled, and he bowed his head, not in submission, but in gratitude. The crowd clapped again, louder this time. The hallway lights glowed, but as the applause faded, Amelia's phone buzzed. A single text, from a blocked number. That was sweet, but you missed something. Look behind locker number 19. Her blood went cold. She turned, left the applause behind, down the hallway, past the laundry bins, past the mop sinks. Locker number 19. She opened it. Empty, except a black envelope. Inside photos. Of Danica. Of Harold. Of Amelia. Taken from angles even her cameras didn't catch. And a note. I've been watching too. Let's play. Fade to black. The photos didn't shake in her hand, but her stomach did. Amelia stood frozen in the dim hallway. Locker number 19 still ajar behind her. The black envelope clutched tight. The note inside was short, typed precise. I've been watching too. Let's play. She looked up instinctively. No cameras visible. But someone was watching her, not just the hotel. Someone who knew where she was. Knew who she was. Knew everything. By morning, the staff didn't notice the change in her eyes. Only that she walked faster, checked corners more, didn't smile as much. She still wore the blazer now. No longer undercover, but the housekeeper's name tag stayed pinned beneath her lapel. Melinda, just in case. At 7:42 a.m., Harold met her by the service elevator. He was holding a brown envelope. This came in with the mail, he said, voice steady, but eyes wary. No stamp, just this. It was addressed to Amelia D. Inside, another note, another photo, this time of Danica, on her way home the night before. A red circle around the figure behind her. Too far to see clearly, but unmistakably deliberate. Whoever sent it wasn't bluffing. Amelia stepped into her office, shut the door, and for the first time in years, turned off the security system. Then she opened the safe, pulled out the old Duquesne notebook, her father's journal from when he built the first Mirabelle Hotel. The back pages were filled with codes, names, staff logs, a system of loyalty and betrayal, written in symbols only she could decipher. She flipped to the final page. The last thing her father ever wrote. It's never about the walls. It's about the people behind them. That evening, she called Danica in. Closed door. Dim lights. She didn't mention the photo. Not yet. Danica, tell me something, Amelia said. Has anyone followed you lately? Anything strange? Danica hesitated, bit her lip, then nodded slowly. 3 nights in a row. Same car. Parked down the block. Tinted windows. I thought it was just my imagination. Amelia showed her the photo. Danica's face drained of color. I didn't do anything wrong, she whispered. I believe you, Amelia said. That's why you're staying in the executive wing tonight. No arguments. By midnight, Danica was gone, escorted upstairs with a private guard. But someone else was watching. At 12:17 a.m., the cameras near the staff corridor flickered. One blink, then went dark for 33 seconds. And when they came back, locker number 19 was wide open again. But the envelope was gone. The next morning, Harold wasn't at the door, nor in the break room, nor on the registry. His name had vanished from the system. Amelia's breath caught. She ran to the front desk. "Where's Harold Mason?" The clerk blinked. "Who?" "The doorman." We haven't had a doorman since December," he stammered. "We use the bellboys now." She grabbed his tablet, typed in the override. "System access granted. Employee list, no Harold. No record. No ID. Nothing. Like he'd been erased." She called his number. "Out of service." She ran to his locker, empty. His uniform gone. His cap gone. A single note left behind. "You won't find me unless I want to be found. Trust no one." Panic surged, but she forced herself calm. Someone was wiping people away. Not just threatening, deleting. That afternoon, she called Johnson, head of security. 50, ex-military, cold eyes, and a steel jaw. "Run a check on the system backups. Cross-reference with our facial scan logs. Someone is scrubbing files. Someone inside." Johnson didn't blink. "Already tried. Systems are looping, replacing older footage with recycled blanks. It's like someone planted a memory virus." "And no alerts?" she asked. He looked her dead in the eye. "Only one. 2 nights ago, at 2:03 a.m. Maintenance hatch 12B opened and closed. No staff ID scanned in or out." "There's no hatch 12B," Amelia whispered. Johnson stared, then pulled up the map. It was there, added recently, not part of the original blueprints. "Show me." They went down together, 2 flights below the laundry level, past unused storage, to a door that shouldn't exist. A cold metal hatch marked 12B. No keypad, just a handle. She turned it. Inside, stairs, concrete, rusted rails, and at the bottom, a room humming with electricity. A server room, but not hers. No hotel records. No branded tags. Black servers. Red lights blinking. She stepped closer. On one screen, a live feed of her office. Another screen, Danika's room. Another, her own bedroom. Her breath caught. They were watching her watch them. She reached out to pull the power, and then the lights shut off. Total darkness, except for one flickering monitor. A video began to play. Harold, bound to a chair, breathing, conscious, alive, but bruised. A figure behind him, blurry, unlit. A voice scrambled. "You made this personal, Amelia. You chose the wrong game, and you're 3 moves behind." Then the screen went black. She stood frozen. Johnson pulled his weapon. "We're not alone down here." The server lights began to flash rapidly. A countdown started. 5:00, 4:59, 4:58. "We need to go," he said. But Amelia stood still. "No, we need to copy everything first." She grabbed her emergency USB, plugged it in. A loading bar began. 10%, 12%, 13%. Behind them, a sound. A soft hiss. Like breath through metal. Johnson spun. Gun raised. No one there. But then they heard it. A voice. From the dark. Whispering. Mocking. "You're not saving the hotel, Amelia. You're walking straight into its design." The countdown hit 2:45. The server fan blew hot. Sparks danced near the base. "We have to move," Johnson shouted. But Amelia was shaking. Not from fear, but realization. The system they found wasn't planted by someone. It was built with a hotel. Years ago, before she even took over. Her father's name was etched on the side panel. "Decaying network, private node." "This wasn't sabotage," she whispered. "It was inheritance." Then the power cut. Everything went black. A blast door slammed shut. Amelia screamed. "Johnson!" No reply. Just silence. And then a soft glow. A new screen. A message. "Player 2 has entered. Welcome to the next phase." The glow from the screen painted Amelia's face in cold blue. The message lingering like breath on glass. "Player 2 has entered. Welcome to the next phase." She was sealed in now. Alone. The emergency door had snapped shut behind her like a coffin lid, trapping her in the hidden server vault beneath her own hotel. A room she never knew existed, in a building her family had supposedly built from the ground up. And still, she'd missed this. Her ears rang with silence, only broken by the soft hum of the cooling fans and the faint digital ticking of the clock, continuing to count down on a secondary monitor. 00:59, 00:58, 00:57. Her eyes darted to the emergency USB still inserted into the black mainframe port. The data transfer was stuck at 88%. Freezing. Unmoving. She pressed the keys. Nothing responded. The system had locked her out. She turned to run, but the blast door behind her blinked red. Locked. Retinal clearance override required. And above that in small gray text, access denied. Subject is unauthorized Echo. Her breath caught. Echo. Was that a name? A title? Or something worse? Then she saw it. An old security camera in the upper corner of the room turned. Slowly. With a click. Watching her. Like it had been watching the whole time. She ripped off her blazer, climbed onto the server cabinet, and yanked the camera from its socket. Sparks hissed. She landed hard, knees buckling under her, but she stayed low and silent, scanning the walls. On the far side of the chamber, another light blinked, dim green, next to a steel cabinet embedded in the wall. She approached. No handle, just a small fingerprint pad, and a cracked screen above it. Faint static danced across it until suddenly it cleared, and Harold's face appeared. His expression was battered but determined. He mouthed something. The static blocked the audio. She leaned in, eyes wide, trying to read his lips. One word stood out. Don't. But it was too late. The cabinet clicked. Opened. Inside rows of glass vials. Labeled, Empath V13, Injection Series. She pulled one out carefully. Cold. A glowing blue serum swirled inside. Then the monitor changed again. A new face. Danica. Crying. Not live, recorded. I didn't mean to find it. Danica whispered. I thought it was just medicine. I didn't know it was emotional reprogramming. That they were testing it on us. The footage glitched. They called it voluntary empathy suppression. Said it would improve service quality. But it wasn't voluntary. Not for the staff. Not even for me. Amelia's stomach turned. She looked back at the vial in her hand. The Empath V13 serum. It wasn't medicine, it was control. Emotional control. Her father hadn't just built a hotel empire. He'd built a lab. A psychological testing ground. Under the veil of hospitality. And she had inherited it. But who was still running it now? Who had reactivated the program? She checked the USB. Still frozen. 88%. The screen buzzed again. A new file opened on its own. Footage. A feed from inside the executive wing. Danica's room. The timestamp live. Amelia leaned in, horrified. Danica was asleep on the bed. But someone else was there. A shadow at the foot of the bed. Watching her. Standing still. The figure wore the hotel's security uniform, but it wasn't Johnson. It was someone taller. Their face, blurry, unreadable. The figure reached into their coat. Pulled something out. A syringe. Amelia screamed, banging the console. Stop. The figure on screen paused, as if hearing her. Then slowly, turned toward the hidden camera, and smiled. The feed cut. Static. She yanked the USB out. The transfer crashed. Files lost. Corrupted. But some data saved. She hoped. The only way out now was through the duct above the server. She pulled a crate beneath it. Climbed. Pushed the panel open. Crawled into the crawl space. Dust choking. Cables overhead like spiderwebs. She crawled for 10 minutes, following memory and instinct. Then dropped down into the old laundry tunnel. She emerged behind the service bar. No one noticed her. Not yet. She ran up the east stairwell, heart pounding. 4 floors. 5. Into the executive wing. Room 503. She kicked the door open. Danica was gone. Sheets pulled back. Pillow on the floor. No sign of a struggle. Just a small note left on the bedside table. Amelia grabbed it. 3 words. She's not yours. A chill ran through her spine. She turned to leave, but standing in the doorway was Langdon. Or someone wearing his face. Same jawline. Same hair. Same suit. But the eyes wrong. Glowing faintly. Red. Unblinking. You shouldn't have come back, he said, his voice flat. Synthetic, not human. Where is she? Amelia demanded. You know, he said, tilting his head. You just haven't accepted it. Accepted what? That you were never the original. The words hit her like a punch. What are you talking about? He stepped forward. You're Generation 9, Amelia. You were built to replace her. Replace who? She whispered. He raised his hand, pressed 2 fingers to his temple. The hallway lights dimmed. Projectors activated. A hologram flickered to life. A lab. A girl. 7 years old. Curled up inside a glass pod. Dark curly hair. Light brown skin. Soft brown eyes. Barefoot in a white dress. The label above her chamber read, Subject, G00. Status, suspended animation. Genetic origin, A. Duquesne. This is the real Amelia, the synthetic Langdon said. The girl they hid. The girl your father protected. You're just the echo. She staggered back. No, I have memories. I have a life. Implanted, he said, to keep her safe. The lights blinked again. A siren wailed in the distance. Emergency lockdown triggered. But Langdon didn't flinch. You want answers, he said. Then follow me. Why would I trust you? Amelia growled. You don't have to, he said, turning down the hall. But if you want to save Danica, you'll need to face the one who built you. Who? She asked. He stopped, looked over his shoulder. The architect. Then he vanished into the shadows. Amelia hesitated. Every nerve told her to turn back. But Danica was out there. Harold was missing. And now there was a girl, G00, who looked just like her. Her hands trembled, but she followed. Down the stairs. Into the vault. And as the doors hissed open, she stepped into the deepest level of the hotel. A chamber she'd never seen. Stark white, lined with glass pods. Inside each one, a version of her. Generation 1. Generation 2. Generation 3. All identical. All motionless. And at the far end, a tall man in a white coat. Ash blonde hair. Black eyes. Calm smile. Hello, Amelia, he said. Welcome home. He stood at the far end of the sterile white chamber, the glass pods glowing dimly around him, each one containing a version of her, Amelia Duquesne. Generation 1 through Generation 8. All identical. All asleep. All still. The man's coat shimmered under the clinical lights, his eyes pitch black and unmoving, his voice calm but cold as marble. I'm the one your father couldn't control. The one he built, and then buried. You may call me the architect. Amelia's mouth was dry. You created me? He smiled faintly. Not exactly. I perfected you. Her gaze snapped to the pods beside her. Her face repeated. Over. And over. Why? She demanded. Why build me? He stepped forward slowly, hands behind his back. Because emotion was your father's flaw. He tried to protect his daughter by hiding her. You were meant to be the weapon he'd never dare use. An emotional decoy. A daughter with a heart. But hearts are dangerous. Amelia's breath hitched. So what am I then? Just some tool? You're the most stable model, he said, admiring her. You survived the longest in the field. You loved. You led. You fought. And now you question. That's why you're still alive. She looked around. 8 other Amelias floating in stillness, eyes closed, like memories trapped in glass. What happened to them? She whispered. Some failed, he said. Some rebelled. Generation 4 tried to burn the hotel down. Generation 7 ripped out her own code. You adapted. She took a step back. Her head was spinning. Everything she thought she knew. Her childhood. Her rise to CEO. Her grief when her father died. What if it was all synthetic? Where's G00? She asked, voice cracking. The real Amelia. The architect's jaw tightened. She was never meant to wake up. But she's alive? Of course, he said. She's the source. Her emotional DNA was used to build all of you. She's pure. Where is she? Amelia repeated. He motioned behind him. A sealed vault. Massive. Silent. No windows. She's inside, he said. frozen, safe, until the world is ready. Amelia moved toward it, but he stepped in her path. I can't let you unseal her. You'll destabilize the entire hotel system. Everything you've built, everything that runs smoothly now, will collapse. You mean your experiments? She snapped. The empathy serum, the memory wipes, the surveillance. That's what runs smoothly. Exactly, he said. Because of you. He looked almost sad. Don't you see? You became more than a puppet. You became effective. Effective at what? She shouted. Hurting people? Letting Harold be taken? Letting Danica be hunted? No. I'm done being your design. She shoved past him, slapped her hand on the vault scanner. It blinked red. Access denied, echo clearance only. She turned. How do I get in? The architect hesitated, then reached into his coat, pulled out a black keycard. You don't, he said, unless you're willing to overwrite yourself. What does that mean? To access G00, he said slowly. You must inject the root key. It will unlock her vault, but it will erase you. Her heart raced. Erase everything you are. Your memories, your thoughts, your love for this place. Gone. You will revert to your base code, the blank slate you were born as. So to save her I die, she said. Not die, he said. Return. She clenched her fists. Why give me the choice? Because if you're truly better than the others, you'll choose to protect the system. You want me to protect your system? He didn't answer. She backed away, toward the vault. Then a sudden beat pierced the silence. The pods beside them began to glow brighter. One by one, Amelia clones inside them opened their eyes, but their expressions weren't calm. They were angry, confused, terrified. What's happening? She gasped. The architect's face turned grim. Someone hacked the system. External breach. Who? The lights flickered. An emergency siren echoed through the walls. On the far wall, a message appeared. External override detected. Source, Mirabelle rooftop node. The architect cursed under his breath. It's Johnson. He's rerouting the sequence manually. Idiot. He's waking all the generations at once. One of the clones inside the glass began to scream. Another smashed her fists against the pod wall. They're not stable, the architect shouted. They'll tear this place apart. Amelia ran to the terminal. The pods were unlocking one by one. 7, then 6, then 5. A loud hiss. Generation 2 burst from her pod, fell to the floor, and screamed in broken speech. Where am I? What did you do to me? Shut it down, the architect barked. You have the USB. But Amelia hesitated. She looked at the women now crawling out of glass coffins. Her own face, her own voice, but fractured. You kept them caged, she whispered. You did this. The architect moved toward her. If you don't shut it down, they'll kill us all. Then maybe they should, she snapped. She pulled the serum from her pocket, the Empath V13 sample, held it up. What happens if I inject this? His eyes widened. Don't. You don't know what version it is. I don't care, she said, and plunged it into her arm. It burned instantly. Her vision blurred. Her head spun. She dropped to her knees. The room twisted around her. Data. Voices. Screams. Faces. Her father. Her mother. Wait. No. She didn't have one, did she? Or did she? Then her mind split. Not in pain, but in clarity. Memories realigned. A little girl. Barefoot. In a white dress. I'm G00, she whispered. And then it all clicked. She had been the real one all along. Not frozen. Not forgotten. Hidden. Echo wasn't a clone of Amelia. Amelia was a clone of her. She looked up at the architect. His face was frozen in horror. You lied, she said, voice steady now. You made me forget who I was. You weren't ready, he cried. Your father, he made me promise. You broke every promise, she said, then turned to the vault. It clicked. The lock disengaged. The heavy steel door groaned open, and inside there was nothing. Just an empty pod. A child-sized space. Long abandoned. A fingerprint smeared on the inside of the glass. Fresh. She stepped in. The walls were warm. A screen inside flickered to life. One last message, in her own childhood voice. If you're reading this, then I made it out. I'm still alive. They didn't erase me, but they're coming. And I need you to remember, you're not my copy. You're my backup. Find me before they do. The screen shut off. She stepped back, stunned. She escaped, she whispered. The architect staggered. That's not possible. You underestimated her, Amelia said. Just like you underestimated me. The light shut off, then flickered red. One last message blinked across every screen. Unit G00 detected. Return sequence initiated. Raven agents en route. ETA 7 o'clock. And it was already 6:38. The red glow pulsed like a heartbeat against the white walls, and the words on every screen flashed like a warning from the past. Unit G00 detected. Return sequence initiated. Raven agents en route. ETA 7 o'clock. Amelia stared at the countdown. Her pulse synced with the ticking seconds. Somewhere out there, the real G00, her, was alive. And if the system had just located her, then the architect's private security force, the Raven agents, were already on their way. They weren't human. She knew that much. No mercy, no empathy, just surgical precision. They were designed to retrieve and erase. We have to shut down the beacon, she said, turning to the architect. But he was gone, slipped away during the distraction. She scanned the chamber. The clone pods had stopped glowing. For Amelius, generations 2, 3, 6, and 7 stood near the wall, shaking, blinking like newborns under hospital lights. They were frightened, unstable. Listen to me, Amelia said firmly. You were made for something more than control. You're not mistakes. You're not failures. You're survivors, just like me. Generation 6 stepped forward slowly. Her eyes were glassy. I remember a fire, she whispered. They said I caused it. They shut me down. You were trying to protect someone, Amelia said. And now you have a choice. Help me stop them, or let them erase all of us. Generation 2 nodded. Her voice cracked. We help. Together they moved, fast. Amelia grabbed the emergency override drive from the architect's console and sprinted down the corridor, through the catwalks above the old vault levels, into the central node room where the hotel's neural network connected to the outside satellites. If they could sever the signal, they could stop the Raven agents before they arrived. Johnson met them at the base of the node tower, blood on his temple, one arm limp. You're alive, Amelia breathed. Barely, he muttered. He tried to lock me in cold storage. Bastard's fast. Where is he now? No idea. But you've got about 15 minutes before this place becomes ground zero. The core room buzzed with static. Rows of servers and silver neural tubes pulsed with light. In the center stood the transmission tower, spindly, metal, glowing with the active beacon lock. Can you kill the signal? She asked. I can jam it, Johnson said, pulling out a cable, but not permanently. It'll only delay them. Delay is enough, she said. We buy time. We find G00. Where do we even start? Danika's voice cut through the static. She stepped into the light, bruised but standing. I think I know where she went. Amelia rushed to her, hugging her tight. I thought you were. They tried to sedate me, Danika said. But I've been watching the architect longer than you have. I faked the blackout, hid in the laundry chutes. I heard him talk about the river house, your family's old property, miles from here. No systems there, Amelia whispered. No surveillance. Of course that's where she'd go. But the countdown was closing in. 6:57. I'll take a bike, Amelia said. Solo. If they trace me, you all stay hidden. You won't make it alone, Johnson said. We go together. They'll kill you, Amelia said. They'll try, he replied. Generation 3 stepped forward. We'll defend the hotel. We were born here. We'll finish it here. Amelia locked eyes with her clones, her reflections, and nodded. Then fight like you were meant to live. She and Johnson raced through the sublevels, into the underground lot, jumped onto the old security cycle. Tires screeched. The alley doors burst open. They sped into the dawn. The sky was a smear of gray and red. The signal tower behind them flickered. Then, high above, 3 black dots in the clouds. Raven agents. Dropping fast. Too late. 6:59, at the river house. The trees swayed like ghosts holding secrets. The gate was broken. The lights were out. Amelia stepped off the bike slowly, heart in her throat. "She's here," she whispered. "I can feel it." They entered the house. Dust. Silence. Her father's coat still hung by the door. Her old books still on the shelf. The piano still untouched. And then, from behind the curtain, a child's voice. "You came." She turned slowly, and there she was. Barefoot, white dress, curly hair in a bob, soft brown eyes. G00. Her original self. Still alive. Still real. "You're me," Amelia said. G00 nodded. "They tried to erase me, but I hid, and I waited for you to remember." Amelia knelt down. "I remember now." "Then you know what they're planning," G00 said. "They want to roll out the empath V13 globally. Reprogram children. Break empathy before it ever begins. We'll stop them," Amelia promised. Together. Behind them, the air cracked. Raven agents landed outside, boots hitting earth. 3, then 6, then 9. Mechanical voices echoed through the trees. Locate. Extract. Terminate unauthorized subjects. Johnson loaded his weapon. No more running. Amelia pulled G00 behind the wall. "You trust me." "I am you," G00 said. "I've always trusted you." They sprinted through the back. Johnson covered them. 1 raven fell. 2 more came. The forest lit with muzzle flashes. They ran down the hill, toward the old transmission shed. Inside, Amelia found the breaker box. "There's one last node," she said. "The original failsafe. My father's hidden trigger." "You're going to overload it?" G00 asked. "No," Amelia said. "I'm going to merge it." She turned to her. "If we do this, your mind and mine will become one again. You'll lose your childhood. I'll lose my pain. But we'll be whole." G00 smiled. "Let's finish what he started." Amelia reached out. Fingers touched. The signal connected. Emotional core sync. Initiating full memory integration. Light exploded. Time collapsed. Every memory, real, fake, fractured, blended. Her first kiss. Her first command. The day she watched Harold hand over his last dollar. The day she met Danica. The face of her father. His voice whispering, "Forgive me." Then silence. Outside, the Raven agents stopped. Their red visors blinked, then dimmed. One by one, they shut down. No commands. No signal. No orders. At the Grand Mirabelle Hotel, the clone sisters felt it too. Generation 2 dropped her weapon. Generation 7 fell to her knees, laughing through tears. The system reset. Back at the shed, the light faded. The wind stirred the grass. And Amelia stood alone. Whole. Not an echo. Not a backup. Amelia Duquesne. But then, from the tree line, one last figure stepped out. A Raven agent, but different. No visor. No weapon. Just eyes. Human eyes. Familiar eyes. Harold. He stepped forward, his voice trembling. "You weren't supposed to make it this far. But I hoped." She froze. "You." He smiled, tears forming. "I was the first test. The first to resist. Your father saved me. Hid me. Waited for you." She stepped toward him. And now, he looked at her, filled with pride. "Now you save the rest." And behind him, in the light of dawn, hundreds of children, barefoot, blinking, freed from hidden labs across the world. Eyes wide, hearts open. The truth is buried, but it's waiting to be uncovered, and you're part of the journey. If Amelia Duquesne's secrets have you on the edge of your seat, subscribe now to True Tales of Disguise for more twists, mysteries, and shocking revelations. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay ahead of the game. The next secret is just around the corner. Don't miss out. Join the adventure today, because the truth is always watching.